So first of all, I just listed the topics of the previous summer school so that you get a feeling of what kinds of things we have offered in the past. It was a lot on varieties of English, a lot on also a methodology, but variation has figured a great deal, variation and change. You see also that we had the very first summer school in Freiburg already, and now 11 years later, the IELTS summer school comes back to Freiburg. And this time we thought we should address a topic that will bring interesting new perspectives for English linguistics, both from a theoretical side and from a methodological side. And the topic that we decided on was English as a moving target, exploring online data and online processing. And we are deliberately using online in a double sense. Okay, so we want to bring together innovative theoretical and methodological perspectives on online language, with online having both the idea of online processing, but also looking at online data. So on the one hand, focus on language use on the web, looking at computer-mediated discourse, but also hate speech and social media, for example. And on the other hand, the language processing side. Okay, so what happens if we online process language in real time? And you have all the relevant questions here. And then, in fact, we would also like to bring together the kinds of experimental approaches that we have to studying online processing with linguistic theoretization, like, for instance, construction grammar, and to what extent construction grammar concepts can be tested out in experimental ways. And on the other hand, how can experimental results be translated, for instance, into construction grammar theorization. We have so far secured 8 courses. So we were thinking of a fairly traditional setup of a summer school, namely to have courses which last for 8 to 10 hours per course and are distributed across, let's say, 3 to 4 half days. And so far, there are 8 people that we have contacted and who gladly, for us, agreed to offer such a class. 2 of them will be, this is what it looks like at the moment, will be online, purely online classes. The other classes will be classes here in presence. Alice Blumenthal will offer one on processing online data. So she is, for instance, one who is interested in this online processing issue, what kinds of methods can be used there, should be used there. Then it's Martin Hilpert, who will try to bring together the experimental perspective with the theoretical perspective, so cognitive construction grammar and online processing. Jack Grieve agreed to come, offering a class on studying lexical innovation with online data. We then have Mikko Laitinen, who will offer a class on digital social network analysis. John Born from Groningen will offer a methodological class, visualizing forests, not trees, aggregate varietal comparison. So I think this is something that people who work with large data sets in varieties of English, for instance, will be strongly interested in. Mirka and Axel from Freiburg will offer a class on Englishes on the move. And then there are 2 more classes, one by Agnieszka Lyons from Queen Mary College on post-digital ethnography, multimodality, mobility, and polymedia, and Isabel Clark, who will address such things as hate speech, for instance, trolling, so language abuse in the digital age. So Isabel also brings this forensic linguistics background. So these are the 8 classes, and in fact, also the people offering classes online may well be in Freiburg for doing this, but I just try to secure that we have certain purely online classes and others that are offered in presence, but that also have digital ingredients. And this, so this is the first part, how I would summarize the academic program. So 8 full courses, each course 8 to 10 contact hours. 2 are all online, 6 in person. The in-person courses will not be hybrid courses, but we will offer attractive options for online participants. For instance, I will ask each of the course instructors to prepare perhaps up to 2 hours of pre-recorded input lectures, and also to be available for online interaction with the online participants, so that they are ready for questions, for example. Each in-person participant will be able to attend at least 3 in-person courses, so we will organize it that way. And all participants, whether online or in presence, will have access to the major materials and recordings of all courses. Apart from these full courses, there will be plenaries, there will be panel discussions, and these plenaries and panel discussions will be hybrid. Okay, so they will be offered in a way so that also online participants can participate online. They will be recorded too. The model that Karen and her team tested out in Newcastle, we will also use here. So to offer this what she called pop-up mentoring or expert consultancy via 30-minute online slots. This is what we will also do. But of course, we also have many of our instructors here on the ground. So I think for the participants, we can also have a lot of instruction simply by meeting with our instructors. And we will have a poster session for PhD students, both in presence and online. The idea is to offer this summer school in the week after the end of term here in Freiburg, which means that there is still everybody there, but there's no term time, and we can have access to all the rooms that we want. The online courses and the academic program would take place Monday through Friday, 22nd to 26th of July, and the social program will start already on the day of arrival, so Sunday afternoon, but otherwise there will be social program interspersed during the week. And then on the Saturday, the 27th of July, there will be some excursion or Black Forest hike. So there are plenty of opportunities and possibilities. Currently, we are planning with fees of €250 for early bird in-person participants. And this then goes up if you go from top to bottom. Online fees would always be 50% of the fees for in-presence participants. There will be also local participants, I hope, and they will have to pay €50 unless they support us as technical assistants or so. But I will tell you more about the potential of local participants here from Freiburg. And we have at the moment also secured fairly cheap space, I would think, for participants, for more than 40 participants. So 19 double rooms and 8 single rooms with rates of €35 per person per night for the double rooms. I think that's for Freiburg at least unrivaled, and also for single rooms fairly cheap. And we have reserved them until the end of the year. And since we will open the registration, the early bird registration on 1st of October, there will be 3 months for early bird registration and also for registering for this kind of accommodation. Background on the university, I don't want to give you everything. So it's like Santiago de Compostela. It's an old and established university. It has a wonderful track record. Most importantly, perhaps at the very bottom, you see that we have about 3,500 PhD students, and we have also a very vibrant linguistic scene in Freiburg that quite a number of you know, perhaps. The profile of our linguistics scene across all disciplines you see here. I don't want to spell it out. What is perhaps most important from a PhD point of view is that we have a very large and vibrant graduate school of linguistics that is run together jointly by University of Freiburg and University of Basel in Switzerland, just 60 kilometers south from here. And at any time, we have about 60 PhD students enrolled. And I would think that at least a fifth or 20% or a quarter of these will also participate in our summer school. Otherwise, I think we have a good track record of hosting linguistics conferences. And I mentioned the IELTS Summer School in 2013 already. That was organized at that time by the then president, I believe, Christian Meyer. And of course, Christian is still here. So I should also mention I have no slide with the organizing team like Maria Jose had. But of course, here at the Freiburg end, it's Mirka Honkanen. It's also some of the instructors that I mentioned from Freiburg. It's Christian Meyer and others who we all together will organize this summer school. And we have some experience in doing so. About the venue, I called it FRIAS Plus. So the FRIAS is the Freiburg Institute for Advanced Studies. So one option is, and we have reserved the entire building. We have the entire building for us, and this means that there are not only lecture hall and seminar rooms available, but what is also available is, for instance, the lounge that we have to ourselves. It's the terrace that we have with a wonderful view. But we also have this huge anatomy lecture hall right next to the FRIAS, and we can use it for our purposes. We could also have a big public lecture, perhaps integrated into the summer school, because we have all the space. If for some reason we have more participants than we expected and FRIAS doesn't have the sufficient number of seminar rooms, then we can switch to our main university building, where we have reserved many rooms and also wonderful locations right in the heart of the city. So maybe we also make use of both because these two venues are only 10 minutes walk away from each other. So it's easy to just go from one building to the other within 10 minutes. We have to see what the reaction is, how many people will pre-register, do the early bird registration. I can tell you more about this perhaps in a half year's time. So this would be the heart of the city. So the big university library here, this would be the building, the main city building where we could go. This is the English departments. And FRIAS, this building is just 10 minutes away, as I just said, from the city center. Everything in Freiburg is just 10, 15 minutes walk away from each other. So central train station, everything. Here is one little thing I would like to point out. This was a former fountain, okay? And there's something special going on at this former fountain. Okay, this is the advertisement block for the location. I don't have to go through this. You can read it for yourself. Freiburg is a very well-known touristy town, a beautiful town. At the end of July, be prepared to high temperatures in the low 30s. This would be nothing really worth writing home about, with fantastic warm summer evenings and nights, and salsa dancing every night right outside the university, like this. And this is exactly in this little fountain space that I just showed you. So when I look out of my window, I look right on this fountain. And so all the participants, if they don't know what else to do in the evenings, they can just go and have salsa dancing every single night. If they want to start earlier, you can start earlier. All right. So that's the presentation for the summer school. Thanks a lot.